It is a journey through the Bible with Mukhwana Isaac. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Yesterday, we looked at the judges and we saw who the judges in the Bible were, and of course, and the judges today. We saw a woman, Deborah, as being a very powerful judge, Samson, and today we look at briefly the last of them, that is Samuel, the last and greatest of the judges. The period of the judges, of course, had lasted about 150 years. It had been a wild and troubled time. There was very little respect for law. When law was needed, many took it into their own hands, despising affliction, yes, despising officialdom. But the people saw the uselessness of acting independently and realized the advantages to be had in a strong union of tribes. The work of Samson had not ended the danger of from the Philistines. Indeed, after his death, it increased. In the second half of the 11th century, that is a BCE, at the bloody battle of Afek, the Israelites were cut to pieces. The Philistines even took the Ark of the Covenant, but later sent it back after plagues had attacked them. All of the people seemed to be lost. The Philistines built fortresses throughout the country, robbed the shrine at Shiloh, and took away what weapons the Israelites had. But God was preparing a man who would be the last judge and would save his people, Samuel. After the book of Judges, the history of God's people is continued in the books of Samuel. As a child, Samuel had been consecrated by his mother to the service of God. He was brought up by the high priest Eli in the temple at Shiloh. Later, when Eli heard that the Philistines had taken the ark, he fell down dead. Samuel then became the high priest. Samuel was soon known far and wide as being a sincere and noble person, one on whom others could depend and trust. But he was especially respected as being a prophet, a true man of God, one who knew the divine will and could make it known to the people. Knew the divine will of God. The people's confidence in him grew quickly. He was more of a religious leader than a military leader. And so he started the hard work of rebuilding the nation. His task was extremely difficult. There had long been trouble among several tribes, especially between Ephraim in the north and Judah in the south. And his hand caused disunity. Yes, actually, whatever his being up there caused disunity. He went around the country each year trying to fill the people with a desire for union among the tribes of one nation. He got them to throw away the idols they had been worshipping and turn back to God. Hope came back. The tribes came together to fight against the Philistines and recaptured many of the cities they had lost and had peace once again. The most important thing that Samuel did was to get the people of all the tribes to feel that they really were one nation. And this, of course, prepared the way for the day when the Israelites came to Israel and asked to have a king. They felt that they would never be safe against the Philistines unless they had a king like other nations who would keep them united and lead them as a nation. Samuel was slow to give them what they asked. He thought that with a king, they would no longer look upon God as their leader and protector. Also, an earthly king might work more to build a rich and powerful kingdom, rather teach the people to know, love, and serve God. But the people insisted on having a king. Samuel prayed to God, and the Lord said to Samuel, "Hearken to their voice and make them a king." We read this in 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 22. Give them a king. So Samuel became the man to anoint the first king of the Israelites. Because Samuel was a prophet, he made sure that there would also be a spiritual authority to balance the political power of the king. This power was mainly in the hands of the priests and prophets. In Israel, there had to be no room for an earthly, all-powerful king who accepted no authority above his own. Israel was a religious kingdom, and God was its real ruler. Yes, there was a danger in having a king. God could not give up his authority. But as Samuel prophesied, everything would go well if the king acted as God's representative and was obedient to his instructions. On the other hand, if the king was too ambitious and forgot the religious task of the Hebrew people, God would reject him. And this brings us to the end of today's episode. Tomorrow, on Monday, we shall look at Saul, Israel's first king, but a failure. I have been Mukhwana Isaac with the journey through the Bible. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Be blessed.